organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Marine Mary, a favorite University of Iowa intramural, is readying for its latest voyage.
Tornado redemption. Iowa City reflects on the terrible tornado that ripped through town.
It was shorts and sandals weather in Iowa City Thursday. Later, I will tell you if the sunny skies are here to stay.
Spring sports are in full swing, and one Iowa baseball player really knows how to swing the bat. We have the story next in sports.
We love you. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Maria Palladino.
And I'm Cole Johnson.
A court in Nevada, Iowa heard opening statements from both sides of the Alexander Kozak trial Thursday. On the first day of the trial, Kozak's attorney did not argue the prosecution's charge that Kozak shot and killed 20-year-old Andrea Farrington at the Coral Ridge Mall last June. Instead, the defense claims Kozak has suffered from a mental illness since he was 15. Kozak is on trial for first-degree murder.
The tornado that ripped through Iowa City in 2006, most notably the tornado damaged St. Patrick's Church and the Alpha Chi Omega sorority house near the downtown area. Daily Iowan TV reporter Becca Scadden explored how residents recall that night's twister touchdown.
On the night of April 13th, 2006, parts of Iowa City took a huge hit from an F2 tornado. On Wednesday, April 13th, the Iowa City Public Library held an event for the 10-year anniversary of the disaster. The majority of the evening was spent hearing stories of what people experienced on that night.
The last thing we heard before the power went out was that the tornado was, there was a tornado sighted in downtown Iowa City, and it was headed east, which is right where we were, about 8 blocks away. And within a minute or so, the power went out, and then it was just like Larry was saying, it was just dead silent.
Despite the devastation of the tornado, 10 years later, people have more to remember than just these impacts.
It was incredible just how people sprung back, and people worked very hard during the days. And when I was driving home from work, you'd see people barbecuing outside their damaged house and just having some fun with it, and then going back and working again hard the next day.
The Iowa City Public Library has collected close to 2,000 photos and videos from the tornado, which they have used to create an interactive map on their website.
The idea of doing this interactive map to show it in a more of a story fashion, follow the path of tornado, here's where it started, and kind of follow it throughout its path with some photos that really show the debris that was left behind and everything.
Reporting from the Iowa City Public Library, this is Becca Scadden for Daily Iowan TV.
Thursday opened registration to UI students for one of the most popular intramural sports offered on campus. Canoe Battleship, hosted by Recreational Services, pits naval teams against one another in a pool. The objective? Hurl buckets of water on the nearby boat to sink it. There is no cost for the once-a-semester evening activity. More than 40 teams of at least 3 people participated in last December's event. This semester, the Maritime Madness is scheduled for Friday, May 6th in the Fieldhouse.
The City of Iowa City will provide $15,000 to help shelter those displaced by the pending Rose Oaks apartment construction. The apartments are set to be either demolished or renovated. Displacing the current tenants, the city is hoping both a local charity and the shelter house can help the now homeless residents. The majority of tenants are low-income families. Right now, the house staff is gauging the needs of the families and what is capable of providing.
Officials in Black Hawk County announced their plans to build a new emergency communication radio tower. The tower will stand next to Waterloo City Hall. Taxpayers are paying all of an $8.7 million overhaul to the area's emergency communication system. This is to remove the various dead spots that dot the country.
April is National Volunteer Month, and this particular volunteer group is celebrating 20 years of helping others.
The organization is called Table to Table, and its mission is to collect food that would otherwise go to waste and distribute it to those in need through other organizations dedicated to feeding the hungry.
Daily Iowan TV's Ryan Scott has more.
In the basement of Old Brick Church on the corner of Clinton and Market Street, Table to Table volunteers work tirelessly to coordinate their pickups and deliveries of food to those in need. This organization is celebrating 20 years of helping others. You may have seen their white vans make stops at stores across the Iowa City area, including Hy-Vee, John's Grocery, and New Pioneer Food Co-op. Table to Table collects and delivers anywhere from 800 to 1,000 pounds of food per trip in vans just like this. In the average week, Table to Table collects and delivers about 33,000 pounds of food that goes to organizations that help those in need. I tagged along with a volunteer who drives the Wednesday 8 a.m. route for Table to Table.
We have the Salvation Army and the Crisis Center and HACAP.
Our first stop was Hy-Vee to pick up bread. Each cart of baked goods weighed about 65 pounds. The food is then boxed and loaded into the van.
We pack the stuff efficiently, and then when we get to where we're dropping it off, we see what everybody wants.
From there, our next stop is the Salvation Army Center on Gilbert Street.
Maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 boxes more of the bread.
Our second delivery location was Hawkeye Area Community Action Program, Inc. Table to Table collects food items for their food reservoir, which goes to area soup kitchens, pantries, and other programs that feed the needy. Our last delivery was to the Johnson County Crisis Center on Gilbert Street.
They save the food and we give it to the clients so they have something to eat. You know, we buy some stuff and things like that, but having a donation like that is wonderful.
At this point, the delivery is completed and volunteers can know that their hard work has helped to fill hungry stomachs. Ryan Scott, Daily Iowan TV.
The weather was absolutely gorgeous today, wasn't it, Cole?
Yeah, I agree. I was loving every minute of it. Let's toss it over to Zhao Li in the weather studio to hear more. Zhao?
Absolutely, guys. It looks like we're heading into the summertime now. But first, let's take a look at tomorrow's weather. Friday morning will start off with 50 degrees. Moving into the afternoon, the temps will jump up to 69 degrees, and later in the night, we'll still have the warm 65 degrees. Taking a look at our 6 days extended forecast. Saturday, we'll see partly cloudy skies with a high of 75 and low of 51. Sunday, we'll see similar temperatures, also with partly cloudy skies. Monday and Tuesday, we'll see temps stay in the 60 range, but with cloudy skies. On Wednesday, we can finally see the clear sky again. That's your weather, Iowa City. Now back to you.
Mid-American Energy announced its plans Thursday to spend $3.6 billion on a wind turbine farm. The farm would generate enough energy to power about 800,000 Iowa homes. This will be the largest economic development project in state history. Governor Terry Branstad called the project a, quote, major milestone in Iowa's rapidly growing wind energy industry. Officials have not yet picked the spot to house the wind turbines.
Canada will soon pass a law giving people with an incurable disease the ability to commit assisted suicide. If a person meets the criteria, they would be legally allowed to take medication that will end their life. The proposal must first pass Canada's parliament before it becomes legal. Here in the United States, only California, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington have legalized doctor-assisted suicide.
A magnitude 6.5 earthquake in southern Japan shook Thursday evening. The quake knocked down houses and buckled roads, killing at least 2 people and injuring 45. Both victims are from the town of Mashiki on the island of Kyushu. The earthquake's epicenter was roughly 7 miles from the island, but no tsunami is expected to follow. The Japanese Prime Minister mobilized police, firefighters, and self-defense troops for the rescue operation. Officials say hundreds of calls came in about people trapped beneath the rubble of fallen houses.
Well, Maria, I'm getting super excited about this upcoming spring season. We got softball, baseball, and spring football's coming up. Are you pumped?
I'm so pumped. Sports are just happening all over the place. Let's toss it over to Taylor and Katie in the sports studio. Ladies?
Thanks, Cole, Maria. You guys have that right. So much going on. And Iowa athletes are really swinging away this spring, especially the Iowa baseball team, as they added their 16th win to their season on Wednesday night.
This win sets Iowa over the 500 mark with a record of 16-15 this season, but we'll have more on that later. But first, we take it to the court.
And this time, the tennis court with a group of club athletes who are looking to make their national championship mark. Check it out.
We saw Iowa football go to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. We saw the rise and the fall of Iowa men's basketball when they lost to Villanova in the second round in Brooklyn, New York. But little do people know that the Iowa club tennis team punched their ticket to their USTA Nationals this upcoming weekend, something that they've been working towards all season long. 63 other co-ed club and intramural tennis teams will join Iowa at the championships. And for Iowa, this will be their second year in a row with the bid.
We're always happy to make it to nationals. I mean, that's always kind of our goal from the beginning of the season is to get to that big tournament at the end of the year.
We went in last year, we had a really good team, but we didn't end up doing as good as we wanted to.
Despite last season, the bid did come with a disappointing loss in sectionals though.
The second day, We went all the way to the finals, and it was kind of a heartbreaking loss.
And it had kind of a heartbreaking loss in the championship. We ended up losing by 1 game.
Even with the loss, the team is ready for a rebound.
We feel ready for nationals, so we're ready to get back on the winning track and finish strong.
The team has the same mindset, but for some, it'll be their very first time competing at nationals.
I mean, just to go as like a Big Ten college and go and play is really exciting, especially, like I said, freshman year is really fun.
As for the seniors, it will unfortunately be their last.
This is one of the first Clifton organizations. Everyone was very welcoming, very friendly, and I've been with them for 2 years. We're all really close. So it's going to be sad, but I've enjoyed it.
It's weird, honestly. I mean, the end of another chapter in my tennis career. Lots of memories with this team over the last 4 years. I've met a ton of awesome people. This group of people really means a lot to me.
We'll have all the coverage and the updates from Cary, North Carolina on the show next week. Reporting inside the HTRC, Taylor Brooks, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Definitely a phenomenal group of athletes doing really big things.
Oh, it is. It was so much fun getting to work with those girls and guys. They were so much fun, and the best of luck to them as they head to North Carolina this weekend.
Absolutely, but the tennis club isn't the only team that is perfecting their swing this spring season. The Iowa baseball team took on another midweek showdown at Duane Banks Field, and it was quite the show.
The Hawkeyes swept the Air Force Academy with a final score of 22-2, and there was one Iowa player who made history. Daily Iowan baseball reporter Jordan Maloney tells us more.
After a late come-from-behind win on Tuesday night, the Iowa baseball team showed up and nearly shut out the Air Force Academy on Wednesday at Duane Banks Field. But it was Iowa third baseman Mason McCoy who really stepped up to the plate, becoming one of the first Hawkeyes in program history to hit the cycle. Allowing only 2 runs to score in the 9th inning, the Hawkeyes finished the evening with 16 hits and 22 runs. Taking the early lead with 4 runs in the first inning, the Black and Gold stayed focused and didn't waste the opportunity to compete against a great Air Force team.
Had good at-bats up and down the lineup, and then I had the opportunity to get a lot of guys into the game, and when they came in the game, they didn't waste their chances. They took advantage of it and had good at-bats. Played a good defensive game.
I really can't say that the bats changed or anything like that, but the guys who were in the lineup today took full advantage of being there and jumped out on top early.
And one of those guys was Mason McCoy. After bunting a single in the first inning, McCoy quickly followed up with an RBI triple in the second and a double in the 4th inning, only to follow up with a 2-run home run in the 6th inning to complete the cycle.
And gone! A home run for Mason McCoy, and he is hit for the cycle.
Yeah, I knew I had to hit home. I tried to hit a home run the last at bat. Now, I have had nights where you feel like everything you swing is barreled up, but definitely not like this.
The Washington, Illinois native added a double in the 7th inning to tie the program record for most hits in one game.
Well, that was great to see. We've all been kind of waiting for Mason to break out and get hot, and he really swung it well tonight.
Reporting from Duane Banks Field, I'm Jordan Maloney with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Thanks, Jordan. The cycle. Honestly, I tried to do that in Little League. Did not work for me, but congratulations to McCoy. That's absolutely incredible.
Definitely a long and exciting game last night. Next up, the Hawks head to Bloomington, Indiana to take on the Indiana University Hoosiers in a 3-game Big Ten series.
And baseball wasn't the only team at the plate last night. Iowa softball took on Drake at home on Wednesday evening, and it was an exciting final inning.
Definitely, as Caitlin Malarkey sent the ball flying, delivering a walk-off to give the Hawkeyes the edge and win 8-7.
They head back to Bob Purfield this weekend for Wisconsin, but that's all for Katie and I tonight.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Surviving a marathon is excruciating for our participants. Now try doing it in 0 gravity.
Timothy Peake on the far right is planning to run the London Marathon on the treadmill in the International Space Station. Peake is not concerned about setting a personal best. On land, the British astronaut completed the race in 3 hours and 15 minutes in 1999.
This would be the 2nd marathon completed in 0 gravity. American astronaut Sunita Williams finished the 2007 Boston Marathon in 4.5 hours.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Keep up with DailyIowan.com for all the latest news over the weekend. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Maria Palladino.